What's up, everybody? Hopefully, you can hear me. You can see me out there in the interwebs. It's your boy Tarek with Shades of Blue. We're having some technical difficulties tonight. We got an MVP on our squad. That's Crunk, and couldn't make it tonight. So we're trying to figure it out. But give us a few minutes, and we'll get it all squared away. We got some good guests going on tonight, but we're really excited for everyone being here. Patience. I see Curva Mundial on the stream in the background. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, I can talk.
Yeah, I got you on screen now. Well, I am going to do some behind the scenes stuff. So bear with me. While I want you to just introduce yourself. I think you've been on before.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a little bit about yourself, what you do. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be vamping behind the scenes. Apologies. We're going to get it all squared away. But I appreciate you being on with us tonight.
It's all right. I appreciate you having me. It's the this is what happens when you're making live content. Everybody, this is these are this is how the sausage is made and what you don't see. And as someone who works in television by day, this happens all the time.
This is what happens. This is what happens when. When Holland gets hurt and we're like, how do we score goals? We don't know how to do it without Holland, or KDB's not able to run the midfield, and we're like, who's gonna pass the ball to Holland? We don't know how to do it. We've never done that before. We've always depended on this guy.
Those are all great analogies, my friend, but I take no sympathy when Manchester City cannot find a way to score and figure it out. It's a little bit of a sour subject here. But my name is Sal. I'm the host and creator of the podcast Curva Mundial. It is a podcast about the fans of the beautiful game. So it's not about scores. It is not about like reactions to games. It is about why people fell in love with the teams that they did and they do love. And it's also about the interview subject's life. So essentially, I kind of trick the guests and the audience into thinking they're going to listen to a soccer podcast. But in the meantime, it's sort of like a travel show, sociological experiment going on about people's lives through this game that we all love and what it means to them, but also how it has impacted their lives. Had a lot of incredible guests on that I'm like so fortunate. Some of them you may know, Peter Hook from Joy Division and New Order, members of the Happy Mondays, have had Kay Murray from ESPN on, and Giuseppe Rossi just kicked off my latest season, which we're on season 8 now. And this upcoming season, I have surviving members of the Cranberries, this really amazing Irish band called Sprints, Richard Kelly, who is a photographer for the Arctic Monkeys, and Amy Winehouse, and Gil Scott-Heron, and Lee Scratch Perry, and an amazing podcaster by the name of Crunk Chocolate that you all know here from Shades of Blue. So, so that'll be coming up in the coming weeks. So check it out. Follow me on the social media platforms of X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Instagram. It's the same handle at Curva Mundial Pod for updates. My bantering, my freaking out over what goes on at AC Milan, which is the team that I support, as well as, just seeing what else is going on in the world. But you could also listen to the podcast at anchor.fm/curva-mundial. If you follow me on the social networks or follow the podcast on the social platforms, you'll see direct links that'll take you all to that. And I've got some really amazing sponsors, and there's some really cool deals. So if you like snacks like macadamia nuts, House of Macadamia sponsors the podcast, as well as...
Sweet.
Yeah, a great coffee company, Mod Cup Coffee, which is a phenomenal coffee company and roastery here in Jersey City. They sponsor, and if you're an athlete, Technigrip Socks. They make really amazing grip socks for athletes who run. They also do a little sponsor as well. So, you get some deals. You get some deals listening to the show. And here we are, and here I am. I'm just killing time until Tariq figures this all out and everybody else
No,
comes
no,
on.
no. I was gonna
It's not
say
my
that's
show. Ladies and
you're not
gentlemen,
just giving
we
them
are on.
soccer. You're not just giving them soccer. You're giving them snacks and all kind of stuff.
Yo,
Wow.
I'm like, it's like I am the brokest Oprah you will ever find on planet Earth, but it's all good. Everyone gets something. Everyone gets a piece of the pie. But the idea is that, like, what's amazing about this game, and I just came back from vacation, is that you can straight up go anywhere in the world and find someone who will talk to you about it, and you can have an incredible conversation, even if you don't speak the language, and that's okay. You kind of everyone will figure it out. But what is incredible is just like how it is like a universal passport. And then like once you like break that down, we're all more alike than we are different. And I think that's kind of like the beauty of this game. You know, I could crap all over Manchester City all I want, and you could crap all over whatever teams I like. But it's like, and that's okay. And like, but you know, we're talking about something that like we're all equally passionate about, and straight up like what makes the world go round. So it's you know, it's all nice conversations, you know, and hopefully you walk away learning something.
So did I hear you say you're an AC Milan fan?
Yep, sure am.
So what has that been like? Because you've got quite an influx of American talent that came to the club this year there at AC Milan. Because you got Pulisic, you got Musa, yeah. So I don't want to include because he's not American, but you got what's from Chelsea, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You got So what has that been like? You had quite a bit of talent come in.
Yeah. So AC Milan is the second most successful team behind Real Madrid. You know, another little team you may have heard of. But it's been incredible being a Milan fan and throughout my life. I just turned 40 2 weeks ago, and I've been a fan of this team since I was 6 years old, and watching them do everything. You know, it's just they are the team for me that like sets the bar in so many different aspects. Yes, they spend, but they don't. You know, it was never like nefarious spending, or like we've never had Real Madrid money, or in modern days we definitely do not have City or PSG money. So that is like not. We don't even have Chelsea money. So now what's happening is that the team has come out of the banter era, which has been quite astonishing, seeing one of the giants of Europe go to sleep for a few years and now finally wake up and start to return back to Champions League. Made it to the semifinal last year, played against Inter, lost. Inter goes on to the Champions League final. This year returning to Champions League, but also 2 years ago winning a Scudetto, our first in 11 years. Like, didn't think I'd see that for even longer, considering how bad things were. But we have American owners now, so you're right about that. Like, we have a big, heavy American influence. And through that, they brought in Pulisic and they brought in Musa. Pulisic, when I was first on this podcast back in the fall, it was like a couple weeks into the season, maybe 2 months into the season. And I was not impressed. I was just like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see what goes on. I don't think that he'll do much. You know, I think the firework that he has let off at San Siro and in AC Milan has been something that, you know, might just fade away real quick. Like, he's had an immediate impact, but can he sustain this? I've also made fun of Christian Pulisic a lot during his career. I take back everything I said. I take it all back.
It's amazing what happens when they end up on your team, right?
Oh, but it's like even like watching him throughout this entire season, he's incredible. He truly, truly is incredible. I can't say he was incredible 2 weeks ago during the Derby della Madonnina, because he sort of like faded like a ghost in that game. But he's still young enough to learn. But he has gotten to the point that, like, I think like he's such an invaluable asset to this team and this club. And if they build around him, I think Milan is in for something special. I think it was all the right moves for everybody else. And again, like I never believed the hype with him. I never was on that train. Now I'm just like, yo, I want to drive that train. Let me be the conductor because this dude is just like, he's absolutely incredible. So Pulisic, I apologize for any negativity I've ever said. I have no problem taking back my words. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Yunus Musa, though, from the jump, I will say was a pleasant surprise. I did not, and I said this when I was first on here. I think low key he was not getting talked about enough because he's not a goal scorer, and Stefano Pioli was using him in various positions. And Musa still doesn't actually technically have a position. He's listed as a midfielder, but he sometimes plays right back. He sometimes is, a defensive mid. What I love about a guy like him is that put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. I love that attitude. I love that. Like, I don't care where you put me. I'm going to give 150% every time I play. And that's him. And I think that having him being this silent assassin, he kind of reminds me of Clarence Seedorf in the sense that, like, Clarence Seedorf was very similar in that aspect. Like, I will play anywhere and I'm going to give my body and soul for the time that I am on that field. And Seedorf is another player that doesn't get spoken about enough. When people think about that amazing AC Milan midfield that has won Champions League or gone to Champions League, they talk about Pirlo. They even talk about Gattuso, who technically wasn't the best, but was just, an absolute beast on the field. Of course, they'll talk about but like, for some reason, Seedorf never gets mentioned in that conversation, and Musa has the makings of a Seedorf. I do not like player comparisons, like, oh, this is a younger player to an older player, but he has something that those qualities, and I like that. And it's kind of like my New York Knicks tip off in a half hour. And I think, like, being a Knicks fan, yeah, buddy. And I think being a Knicks fan, like, it's the same thing like with Milan. Except Milan wins things on occasion. But like the thing about the Knicks is like, if you bust your ass on the court, and even if we lose, we're down 50 points, and you're still sweating like this is Game 7 with a championship on the line, we will applaud you and thank you for doing that. That's kind of like how I approach my favorite players at Milan, and I kind of feel like a lot of Milan fans feel the same way. I can't speak on all of us because it's also a very divided fan base these days. It's like you have a lot of young fans who I think are incredible and they are the future of this fan base. But I also think like they need to stop speaking very hyperbolically of like, oh, this is the greatest player we've ever seen. And it's like, do you not know who we've had? Like, so it's a lot like that. This is not a new money team. Even though sometimes it feels like it, it's a new ideas team, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Our manager, Stefano Pioli, will most likely be getting the sack this summer. I was hoping that Jurgen Klopp would take over the club. Yeah, I feel like he would be the only guy that like really could really get the bring us that next level, if you will.
Okay. But wait, why is Pioli getting the sack? What is
Pioli? Because Pioli has like run his course. Like he has he is like punched above his weight for a number of years now. Like after winning the Scudetto, he should have both parties should have amicably split. They didn't do that. He was rumored to be coaching the national team. He was on such a high, like even the fans had a theme song for him called Pioli's on Fire that they would chant. Like he was doing things that were like unbelievable. Like I'm not saying that when Milan won the Scudetto in 2022, it felt like Leicester City, because it wasn't that. But it was like, this was a team that on paper we probably should not have won. But you know, just like last season, just barely qualifying for Champions League this season. The only reason why we qualified was because those scoundrels at Juventus decided to, cheat again. But it's just facts. It's just facts. So that's the only reason why we qualified for Champions League this season. We had a really poor showing in Champions League. However, we have managed to stay second place for a very long time this season, despite not being great. Inter have been such a dominant team. They've been incredible. I think Napoli winning the Scudetto last year and Inter missing out on that really revved their engines. The team that Manchester City played in the Champions League final last season was incredible. This team, this Inter squad was far better. And it's a shame that like they didn't go deeper in UCL. But seeing Dortmund doing what they're doing, it's sort of like, wow, okay, maybe Dortmund had everyone else's number. They've studied the test a little bit better. But back to Milan, like I think everyone's sort of frustrated. And I think it all came to a head with Milan not really putting up a fight until the last like 15 minutes at the Derby della Madonnina, where Inter wins. And yes, we share a home stadium together, but like we were the home team. Inter wins right in front of us, and
it got chippy.
Star. What's that?
It got chippy. There were moments in that second half.
It was beautiful. I was there, man. I was there. It was like
that's awesome,
It was incredible. I didn't know what was going on. That's the beauty about being there is that you're watching it. The ugly side of being there is, and by ugly side I mean like, oh, my cell phone's not working and I can't figure out who just got red carded because that card just flew out to like 5 different guys. Like, what's going on here? So it was incredible being there. That atmosphere was absolutely astonishing. But we could have spoiled their party. And I think like the fans would have been okay with, like, we know everyone kind of already knew that like Inter is going to win this season. Like no one's playing catch up with them. They're too good. Lautaro Martinez hasn't scored in 2 months, yet still has the record this season for most goals scored in Serie A, like, which is insane to think about.
That is a complete detriment to the league. What you just said right there should be absolute. It is pathetic. Say that for me one more time so that we can rationalize what you just said.
Lautaro Martinez hasn't scored in almost 2 months, yet still leads the league in goals.
Nah.
What is he on?
Well, hold on. Haaland had the same thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, when Haaland was out for a while, he's never lost the golden boot. So, it happens.
It happens. It's like...
But we had people climb up. Cole Palmer's up there. Ollie Watkins is up there. There's other names up there.
Like players have like climbed up for sure. Like, Scamacca now has finally refound his footing, as you saw today against Marseille, but he has been scoring almost or assisting every game. For the in the 2 months that Lautaro Martinez hasn't scored for the Nerazzurri, the other Nerazzurri team in Italy, Atalanta, Scamacca has picked up that baton and gone with it. But so I think like everyone's sort of frustrated with Pioli. Giroud is going to be leaving this season. He's already at the end of the season. He's signed a contract with LAFC, so he's coming here to America. There's talks about selling players like Florenzi and Davide Calabria. There might even be talk of selling like some of the bigger names, like whether it's Mike Maignan and Net, or I hope they don't get rid of Teo Hernandez. Rafael Leao is considered untouchable, but also if a decent wage comes in, I could see him leaving too, and quite frankly, I'd be more than okay with that. Leao,
a little addition by subtraction action.
Sort of. Leao to me is an incredible player, but if he's on your team, he's incredibly frustrating because when he's on, there's no one better. But when he's off or in a mood, like the whole game is dictated by his disposition. He's sort of like the Kanye West of soccer. It's like the whole thing is like dictated by his mood, and if he's in a great mood, you're in for a goal and at least an assist and a goal. But if he's like not feeling it or bored or like not into it or kind of frustrated, like he was at the Derby, it's like I watched him practice, and like this was the golfing class between Inter and AC Milan. I got to the stadium a couple hours early. Inter were running their, by the time I got to my seat, whatever, both of the Corvas, the Ultras are, starting their chants, fireworks, it's fun, it's loud. Game starts at 9:00 at night. So like around 8-ish, the teams start to come out for warm-ups. Inter looked like, I'm not even kidding you, like if you took a video out of Fort Bragg where the U.S. military does
Fort Bragg, let's go.
And Inter like training before this derby, but it was like looking into a like parallel universe of just different outfits. Everybody, they were so focused, so locked in. For Milan, Maignan had come out early to do some drills, which was incredible to watch. And you see him like getting focused and getting his thing together. Giroux comes out and he's like the first one out, and the rest of the team follows. And like Rafael Leao was starting as our striker that day, which was also like Pioli already lost the script before the game started, because he's a left winger. They put him in center striker, putting Giroux on the bench so that Giroux would come on as artillery in the second half. We all saw how that went. But Leao was goofing around like during the warm up, and like maybe like you could say like, oh, that's like just him like getting his energy out and that's what he does. But like, dude, this is a derby. Your biggest rival is playing you for a title. And like you're twerking to he's literally twerking to the like striker coach. Like, or like goofing around, like trying to like, jump around with like the ball. Like, dude, you're not Maradona. Like Maradona could get away with dumb things like this. But like, because here's the thing, Maradona would then score like a goal or 2 or 3 or 10, and they'd all be ridiculous. It's like, you haven't scored much this season. I understand that like you're in your Miley Cyrus era at this point, but like I need you to focus, because I see, again, at the other end of the field, Lautaro Martinez, who hasn't scored in 2 months, looking like he is out for blood. And that's the guy that is like going to most likely determine whether or not we lose this game. Lautaro still doesn't score that game, which is incredible. But to me, then I see like as the team goes off the field to then change out of the warm-ups and then get ready to go back on for the actual game, the last one off the field is Olivier Giroud. And I'm seeing Olivier Giroud, who's like 37, taking this so serious. And that's when I realized like, oh, yeah, like this is why I'm sort of like ready for a PSG, a Real Madrid, or a Barca, or whoever. Arsenal might be interested in Leao. Cough up the money. I'm fine with him going. I really am, because at this point,
that was going to be my question. Are you going to be able to hold on to Leao? Do you want to hold on to Leao?
I don't want to hold on to him. I don't. I think that big. I know. And like, here's the thing. It's like, and the fan base is kind of split in half on this. I know I'm going to get like a lot of Leao lovers that'll come on and be like, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. But it's like, I've seen artists play for Milan. I've seen artists play for other teams, right? And as you said, as Sharpie Charlie said, Haaland goes through spurts where he doesn't score, and I've seen other guys do this where it's like, you may not be scoring or you may not be assisting. And like, part of me always tries and finds excuses for him where it's like, oh, other teams know just to double team him or triple team him. But like, they do that to Vinicius Jr. and he's still doing it. They're doing it to Jude Bellingham, and he's still doing it. Hell,
you might not have watched the UCL matches because he hasn't been doing it that much. But go ahead. I understand your point. Go ahead.
This past week was a bad week for Jude for St. Jude. But like, but hey, they were also like double teaming. Like players will get like, I'm trying to think of like, why can't I think of like that? I can see it. All right, Mbappe is also a bad example this week as well. This is not a good week to be using.
But I get your point, though. I mean, because it happens.
The point is valid.
Yeah. But it happens. But like, and with him, it's been happening more often than not. And this is the thing that I noticed. He was like this before Ibrahimovic arrived to the team. And Ibra, and like that first season, I was like, just sell this dude. Like, that's it. Like, he is. I've seen this player happen. It's happened a bunch. Like Carlos Bacca, banter era names that I could spit out that y'all probably just sitting there like, who? And my answer with that would be like, exactly, because that's what we would be dealt with. We were dealt like these cards. It's like I look at the same position at Napoli, Carvacciella, who is not having a great season, but neither is Napoli. So he's he's a symptom, not a cause of their like not great season. But like same thing happens to him. He gets double and triple teamed and still manages to find his way out and delivers these blockbuster goals. With Leao, it's because he's fun and he's funky, and like the goals that he delivers or the assists that he delivers really are great for Instagram. And I think that's what it is that we live in such a viral moment that it's like, oh, okay, the same kids that would like boo Andrea Pirlo at MLS because he's not scoring enough or like slows the game down are also the same kids that are like growing up and been like, yo, he's amazing. Let's, look at what he can do. And, I'm going to play him in FIFA and this is what he's going to do. I'm not saying he isn't talented. I am saying that like he's an extremely frustrating player. So it's like, I don't know. So like for me, like strike while the iron's hot, get someone that could fill that role. Because here's the other thing too, is that like, it's a simple fix. I look at it like this. Pulisic is a general left winger. Put him on the left. We have Samu Chukwueze, the Nigerian, who's incredible. Put him on the right because that's his natural position. We get an actual number 9 to replace Giroud. I mean, look, I'm not saying I solved all the team's problems, but I just solved all the team's problems.
You can do what Pioli was doing for a fraction of the cost, it sounds like.
Oh man, would I love it?
So which is the perfect fan, right? So you did me a solid while we were trying to get everything worked out technical wise. I threw I threw out AC Milan as a topic, and the passion that I hear from you could probably go all night long because you're just a fan, and I love it. But I also know you had a couple topics that you put in the sheet that we want to get to, and then we're going to get to Sunshine here in a little bit. But Charlie, before we move to his topics, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the Leao situation reminds me a lot of Coutinho at Liverpool.
Yes.
Where it's the player who isn't leading you to trophies every year, but is so hyped that you can take that money and reinvest in the squad. And we see what happened with Barca with Coutinho, and what Klopp did with the Liverpool money, right? Like, so I think everything you're saying is spot on. And Leao would be great at a different club, right? I think like both things can be true. He can go, he can do it a move. You all can take the money and win and compete against your rivals because you got to like step up next season for sure.
That was going to be my question. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, it's all good because like I agree because like Coutinho also like I remember watching his career. He started off at Inter in like his first like big and like he was the guy at Inter. And that was also their banter era as well. Like we sink and swim at the same time, both teams, which is also kind of like a spiritual cousin thing. But like Coutinho at Inter was something to behold, was a sight to behold. It's like, oh, this guy is going to be something special, right? And he was so young. And as you said, he goes to Liverpool and it's like, What's happening? Who are you? Where is this guy? Goes to Barca. What's happening? Where are you? Who is this guy? Where is he? And he costs a fortune. But like, I'm not saying sell, just to make money but like, as you said, you have to like rebuild at this point. And like, but we don't need a rebuild. That would be like Coutinho was sold to rebuild Inter. Milan doesn't need to rebuild. We just need to reinforce. And we need to figure out like what's going to happen when Giroud is gone. And I feel like Leao can sell T-shirts. We know this. He's in Milan. He's in a fashion city. He has a designer deal with Puma. He has a designer deal with like with Off-White. So like him going to Paris, who are chomping at the bit for a Mbappe replacement, is sort of like, oh, well, if you love fashion and you love doing what you're doing, like you can do that there. We can take PSG money and do something with it. It's a shame because like 2 years ago, I would have been like, yo, after the Scudetto, I would have been like, yo, he's untouchable. He had an incredible season. And like, as I said, like Ibrahimovic came. Before Ibrahimovic, Leao was doing what he was doing now. Ibra plays on the team. And there's no coincidence to me that Ibrahimovic retires last season and Leao is back to the guy that he was before Ibra got there. So like it's a pattern with him, and I'm sort of like, we don't have the money to compete the way other teams do. You are a huge asset. And I don't know, I'm just like, you're not. Because this, like, I don't want to build a team around you. I'd rather do it for guys that care.
100 million euros, day one of the window. You take 100.
100 is like the lowest I'd go. Yes.
Okay.
But I would take 100 million. Yes.
Okay.
Tarek, I know you're ready to move, but I got to ask this question.
No,
right?
take your time. Go ahead.
Is there anybody in Serie A that spends really? Because I know Inter doesn't have a big budget with all their issues and ownership. You all said like you're not, you aren't super rich. Like
Juve.
Juventus is
Juve.
Juventus now. Like we know they got issues, crooks and criminals over there. So like, is anybody dropping bags in Serie A, or is like everybody just trying to do bargain basement deals? And
Bingo.
Like,
So it's the interesting thing about Serie A right now is like, and this is the problem with Italians, and I can say this because I am, all right? We don't like to spend money. We don't. And like,
neither do I.
But here's the thing. But you're still gonna have to, like, but like you'll spend money on things that you really want, right?
Right.
Like you really
Everybody does that. Yeah.
That right. Do you really need that new City jersey? No. Do you want it? Fuck yeah.
I got it.
Pay for it? Absolutely. Are you gonna pay the $120 for it? Totally. I'm gonna support my team. But so like that suddenly you got money for, right? That's Serie A in Italy in a nutshell. Like just coming back from there now, I can see like, wow, like there's a lot of infrastructure, there's incredible things that are being done, but like it's a country and it's a league in a country that rests on the laurels of the past. Everywhere you turn in Italy, it feels like you're in a simulation. It doesn't feel real because you're in ancient ruins that are thousands of years old. You're looking at things that are masterpieces that are so expensive that they cannot actually be insured. Serie A is much like that. AC Milan, Inter, Juve, Roma, even the fascists at Lazio, everybody in Napoli, will all go to their history first. And it's
who
like,
else does that?
Maradona played on this team. You should be grateful that you're playing at Napoli because Maradona played here. You should be grateful that you're at Milan because we have 7 Champions Leagues and 19 Scudetti. You should be grateful that you're at Inter because Mourinho led an underdog team 14 years ago to a treble on this very day. It's like, that's what Serie A does. We have, and it's kind of like,
oh no. Okay. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
You can even like use Formula One as another analogy. Like Ferrari, most sexiest car ever built, beautiful, stunning. Why can't they beat an energy drink in the racetrack, right? Because again, you're resting on the laurels. Yes, they're gonna get Lewis Hamilton. I'm super excited. Yes, they've just sold. Yes, they've just gotten Red Bull's top designer. Very excited by that. He'll now be designing a proper car. But like, you're resting on the laurels of the history. Serie A is no different than that. Serie A had their heyday in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and there's no hiding that. There's no shame in that. Juventus were doing everything right for a while, like building their own stadium, self-financing things, doing the free transfer game, incredible. Like the first the Antonio Conte years of getting guys like Mandzukic, getting guys like Carlos Tevez, Andrea Pirlo, on Paul Pogba on free transfer. Like that is unbelievable business. Like, and they were able to do it. They built teams that were ready to go to the Champions League. They went to Champions League finals twice. They lost to, at the time, the 2 best teams in the world. There's no shame in that. And then they went back to the laurels of what they do. Oh, we're not winning again. We spent too much. Oh, they got Ronaldo, right? They got the thing that they thought, like, right? Their Manchester City jersey. That's why I said all of the things that I said to preface this here. And, like, they didn't really need him, but they wanted him and they got him, and they spent so much on him that they couldn't afford anything else, and now they're in the situation they're in. AC Milan, Silvio Berlusconi, the Donald Trump of Italy, with actual money, not like pretending to actually have money. To put it in context, they're the same guy, just one guy actually has the bag, or had the bag. Silvio built a team that he wanted to make sure that would outlast his legacy. He did. He sold the team to a charlatan, this guy, this crook in China who said he had money but didn't. And Silvio got his pay. He walked away. Young Hong Lee is currently in jail. The team was defaulted, was sold to an American bank, Elliott, and is now in the hands of Redbird, a hedge fund. So it's like that happens. Massimo Moratta, the second richest man in Italy, owns Inter, decides it's time for me to retire. Instead of playing Succession, decides I'm going to retire to the highest bidder. Steven Zhang comes in from Asia, buys the team for an absorbent amount of money, puts them in tremendous debt. They have I think 18 days to pay off like a couple $100 million. So it's like, that's what happens. Then you have teams like Roma and Lazio and Napoli who just have very, very, very tight-fisted owners that are not going to spend, but they're going to try and draw blood from a stone. When Mourinho went to Roma, it was a shock to everybody because it was like, Roma don't get guys like Mourinho. And then they got Dybala. Now he was able to convince Lukaku. He was able to convince Oreo. A lot of them all ended up being flops. We saw this. It happens. But the fact that that happened and was a thing was huge. Napoli winning Scudetto, getting a guy like Victor Osimhen, I don't see him staying beyond this summer. It's unfortunate, but that's the thing. We're not a feeder league. Say I don't know,
the Dutch league or
correct. Not a feeder league. It's
Portugal.
we're going to Champions League. We're going deep.
Top spots.
I was gonna say you're gonna have 5.
Yeah, we're gonna have 5 spots. It's great. But then you have a team like Atalanta where their owners are just okay, who are the best vets that are available that haven't got the shine? Who's the best young talent from across Europe? We'll spend all our money in scouting. That's what they do. And then Atalanta gets a team. They have Gasparini, who's a coach. He whips them into shape. They become this phenomenal engine. And then once the second a player gets too big for their britches at the club, sell them. That's it. You're gone. That's how United gets Rasmus Højlund. That's how Duvan Zapata leaves, or Papu Gomez went to Sevilla. It's great players. And it's he's managed to get them out of here. Hey, you think you deserve more money that we can't give you? Call your agent. Now, that's Italy in a nutshell. So it's you have a couple teams doing things smart. You have a couple teams doing things frugal. And then you have a couple super big spenders. And by super big spenders, it's not that much,
So you brought up great players. One of the questions that you had, I assume, or one of the topics that was in the doc, was a Musiala, Bruno G, Paqueta, Neves, João, or Ruben, and we can pick one. Was that? I assume that was for us, or were you going to pick?
I don't think that was me.
Is that not you? Okay. So
That's
so you took a recent trip to. Oh, that was Saul. Okay, my bad.
You got me too the first time. I was wait, what?
Yeah. Okay. So my fault. So you took the trip to Milan, went to the San Siro for the first time.
Yep.
In 30 seconds, to kind of sum up what your experience was like for you.
I mean, it was like a dream come true. I mean, that's something I've been waiting for my whole life, and got to do it. Yes, Inter wins, but you know what? As a fan of this game, as a fan of this league that I've been watching since I was a little boy, seeing a championship game, I mean, it was the Italian equivalent of the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
So it was cool. I got to wave to Pippo Inzaghi. He waved back. That was there was a little boy inside me that was jumping up and down, going "You did it!" But yeah, it was incredible. I mean, the San Siro is a cathedral of football. Even if you are not a fan of either Milan side, if anybody ever gets a chance to go there for a match, just do it. Just go. Just go, because I promise you will walk away being you're probably not getting that atmosphere in most big teams, which is incredible to say.
That's dope. Great story. Oh, go ahead, Lando.
We appreciate you very much, sir, for the coverage and the wonderful breakdown of Italian football in modern day, and also the history, because some names you've said I've actually I'm going to go back and look at Baca, because I remember how much of an inflation there was to that value. Carlos was doing some things. On the way out, my guy, can you please, I'm going to drop the little hint to it. You've started off season 8 tremendously. Giuseppe Rossi coming in, New Jersey native, amazing story. Hatred for the club he represents in the little story that he shares, but it was wonderful to hear. On your way out, my good man, can you please share a little bit more about what you've done with season 8 and where it's possibly going with Curva Mundial? I love what I've been hearing.
Oh, thank you, Lando. Thank you, guys. As I mentioned earlier, Curva Mundial season 8 just kicked off this weekend, as Lando mentioned, with Giuseppe Rossi, talking about how he joined the other Manchester team that Sunshine will be chatting about. But it's a cool season. I'm really excited about it. Again, we have the 80s band, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, on the surviving members of the Cranberries. This amazing Irish band called Sprints, who are killing it right now. They're going to be on. Richard Kelly, who's a photographer for the Arctic Monkeys, and Lee Scratch Perry and Amy Winehouse. And there's also like tremendous other guests in there too. My buddy Warren Franz, who owns an amazing vintage shop called Another Man's Treasure out in Pasadena and in Jersey City. Ooh. So if you need some vintage clothes, those are the places to go. And there's an amazing person who I love. His Christian name is Royce, but he goes here by Crunk Chocolate. and he hosts this incredible podcast that he's not even on tonight. He's so
not
good.
Not tonight.
Yeah, it's all right. But he is also on this season as well, and also have recorded season 9, which coming out later this fall, starting season 10, which is coming out early next year. And I promise you, just the heavy hitters are coming. The heavy hitter that we're bringing the heat. We're bringing the heat.
That's awesome. Tell us how to follow you. Give us your social media where we can find the podcast, so on and so forth.
Sure thing. So please give a follow at both X, which formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram is both. The handle is at Curva Mundial Pod. You can listen to it on wherever you get podcasts, but you can go right to the link at anchor.fm/Curva-Mundial. And if that is too long for you, you can find us on social media, and there's a link tree there. And in that link tree, as I said earlier, there's a bunch of deals. We're giving things away and like discounts. So there's like nuts and socks and coffee and things and all the fun stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me ramble. And I love
really appreciate it, man.
Thank
you.
All, so.
Thank you so much
sorry
for
about
jumping
the wait,
on.
man. My apologies.
Yeah.
Bro.
Thank you so much for jumping on.
Apologize about. This is live TV. Also, now once all is said and done, I got to get you all on separately too. So we'll be chatting amongst ourselves here.
Appreciate it.
So
look forward to it.
Sounds good. Anytime, bro.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great night. And I know Sunshine's up next, so she's
sir.
Amazing.
Go Knicks, baby.
Let's go Knicks, baby. Let's fucking go Knicks, baby.
Knicks are all right. Appreciate it. Talk to you, man. Thank you. What's up, fellas? It's been a night. How we doing so far?
Man,
we're here, baby. We're here. Making the best of it.
Here.
We're appreciative for y'all for hanging in there. Saul did a great job. Man, that season 8, boys. That's season 8. It's a great episode. It's more than 30 minutes. Oh my guy, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's an American giving you a great breakdown as to trying to transitioning over in Europe early on. 90s time. I'll just give you one snippet. When he first worked on to the Manchester United locker room, walking into the facilities, the first person that opened the door for him was Ryan Giggs. Imagine being a teenager walking into the facility. I guess we got to bring on Sunshine to be.
I was going to say, let's
go
ahead and bring her on.
What are you doing right here?
Let's go ahead and bring her on. The United fan we love to hate, or maybe we hate to love. I don't know, but
we love to.
Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on. Oh wait, did we lose her?
Wait, she's figuring it out.
Hold on.
Yep. We'll see.
Oh. Lost her.
It's dying here. She's got to think about Ryan Giggs.
Let me bring her back up.
Okay, we here?
There we go.
Hey.
I'm trying to figure this out. I feel like it's going to have feedback because it's not going through my microphone, but it's okay.
It works though. Yeah.
Sounds
no feedback
good
here.
To me.
Yeah, you sound great.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for having me. Wow, he was awesome.
He was great.
That was the man.
I learned
it's hard for you to follow, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't hard for me to follow.
No, for you to follow up as the guest.
Oh, yes, absolutely, because he was very smart.
Whoa!
I was gonna
Don't
say,
sell yourself short.
don't down yourself.
Social media icon, TikTok legend, just does it all.
I'm only funny.
Sunshine.
And smart, okay? Funny and smart. We'll take
Jennifer,
that.
we see you. Hello. Thank you for being in the chat.
Jen!
What up,
Love you,
Jen?
girl.
Always.
So how's it going in United World?
It's going well in United World. It's not going great, but I'm doing fantastic. And
I guess that's better.
You have been enjoying other people's miseries. Let me be very clear. I personally love how you love other people's miseries. It's
Listen,
quite fun.
the only thing that I live for at this point.
I think the Germans call it Schadenfreude or something like that. You get pleasure out of other people's pain, basically.
Professional haters, right, Jen? I love it. Can I ask a question to kick this off? Because this is about United. We can talk about the Rags later. How does it feel to like say, hey, my club is biggest club in England, and yet you have to like openly root for these other clubs in these competitions? Like, I love it. Like, I love the Leverkusen support. We all are rooting for them. I think it's, you root for Madrid in Champions League, right? Like, is it bittersweet, or is it just like, hey, I need to find joy, so let me just go seek joy elsewhere?
I mean, obviously it's bittersweet because, you try not to hold on to the past so much, but it's all we have, when you look back on what we used to be, and the fact that, I mean, we're getting knocked out of group stages, we're at the bottom, I don't even know how we're sixth place in the Premier League table. I'm gonna be really honest with you. We got -1 goal difference. Like, it is terrible right now, and it is hard because obviously you want to be able to have that chest when it comes to your team, and be like, yeah, look at us, we're really good. But we just have to hold it right now, hold the L, and shamelessly just walk through life pretending that, everything's fine when it's not.
I'm sure that was painful for you to have to say that like that. So looking in the doc and the topics that you put in, got to get to this news that dropped, and I don't know if it's necessarily news that's been confirmed per se, but the reports are that Ineos is going to stick with your favorite manager, ETH.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's crazy. I'm going to link this to kind of the front office moves as well, because the reason why I feel like he will stay is because in the middle of the Real Madrid Bayern Munich match, Manchester United had like some main character syndrome moment where they dropped this club statement like in the middle of the match. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you had all day to do this, and you waited till the end of the day in the middle of a Champions League match to tell us about front office changes. And the reason why I think he will stay is because the CEO, that the new interim, like we had a CEO, Patrick Stewart, he's gone now. We have an interim, Jean-Claude, who will step in until Omar Barada starts in July. I'm like, that's bizarre. Like, why wouldn't you just wait? And for me to see that makes me feel like he's going to stay, because if they're willing to do that with the CEO, why wouldn't they be willing to do that with a manager? And so that's why it's a little bit concerning to me, because I just don't think, I think they're going to try to give him another shot and let him work under this new system. And that concerns me. I mean, we also got a new CFO who actually had been at Ineos this whole time. And so he's moving from Ineos to Manchester United, somebody that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I guess, really trusts, obviously. And so I don't know. I'm not fully on board with Ineos, but I'm trying to stay positive.
There's nowhere to go but up. Let's be real here. Like, it's what's happened in the past, let's just say last 4 years, right? Like, I want to go back a decades and all that. It's just like, it's been abject chaos. And I think, here's the thing I think about the interim tag for the CFO. I think Barada and Ineos are they've already started a scouting process for the next manager, right? Like, somebody else has to come in, and you just have a whole new regime. You get ETH out, and I think they don't want to mess up. Like, hey, we are going to a cup final. You do have one extra game this season. I know you'll give us a great match. I'm not being facetious. Like, I think it's going to be tough like it was last year. Seriously, it was tough. Like, we didn't blow it out. That looked tight. Yeah, I think, like, I don't think smart people do dumb things. And everything I've seen from Ineos is they are smart people who know what they're doing. And if a man if he chooses Anthony over Kudus, you can't trust him. He did that. He coached them both and chose Anthony. That's all you need to know for, like, should we keep him or not?
Like,
He has no eye for talent. Like,
I agree, and I'm hoping that Ineos sees that as well. I agree with you 100%.
Can I walk you down a path? I just want to walk you down a path. First off, I'm not going to allow revision of history. I stand on that 10 toes down. Charlie wanted United. I want to be very clear here. Charlie wanted United. I dropped a bomb at a bar. I even told Castro I was dropping this bomb. The moment I heard Charlie have the gall to say, I'd love a Derby back-to-back finals. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. And I'm over here, cheeks clenched. The moment I think of it, I knew T would be the same way.
Oh,
now,
yeah, heck yeah.
Let me walk you down a path. You've seen other clubs go for 1A and 1B manager choices, and you've seen 1A and 1B manager choices say, nah, I'm good. If you were to your boy ETH, and you go down the path of trying to get that manager, 1A and 1B, and even 1C, and because it's Man United and there's a lot of fuckery, even 1D says no. Now we've reached a point where there's a little bit of an embarrassment as to the people who will have a say, and now we're at David Moyes back because he just left West Ham, and now you're taking the guy that Sir Alex once said he's good for it.
You can't, dude. You definitely can't make this move unless you know you're gonna get your choice.
That's exactly my point.
If you don't have an agreement ahead of the agreement, you can't make this move, because the embarrassment of, to your point, getting rid of ETH and then not having someone ready to step in, it would say that your front office is truly in the shambles that it appears from the outside that they are in. It would confirm for everyone that no, they don't just appear to be incompetent. They truly are incompetent.
Right. No, I agree. I think hopefully that the new people in place can make that better. But I agree with you, because if we don't get somebody that's capable of handling what United is right now, it will definitely be a mess. And
I've got a name for you.
What is it?
Thomas Tuchel.
Oh no. I knew this was gonna happen.
I was hoping you would go Frank. I was like, Thomas Frank. Okay, I like that. Not too cool. I give you a name, Graham Potter. That man can actually manage.
I'd take Tuchel over Potter.
Really?
Two Thomases and a Potter are your top three candidates. If you had to pick one,
my choice was Nagelsmann, but he obviously re-signed with Germany, and when he did that, it crushed my soul. But that's the thing.
Jesse Marsh. DT30 says Jesse. Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse.
I don't trust any of you to give me any managerial.
But no, Potter's legit. Like,
okay, listen, you're taking our seat. How many other things do you want from City right now?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
No, he cannot coach. He said, nah, he can't. I'm a Chelsea fan, is what Sal said. So.
No, he can't do it at Chelsea because Chelsea was chaos and they have a stupid American owner. Hey, little pup.
I see that.
So adorable. But no, like that man can go, and I think he's been biding his time, waiting. But also, I saw Gareth Southgate's name floated.
That's
after Euro, and I'm like, what does he do to inspire confidence that he can actually play like progressive football? But I guess nobody wants to be progressive anymore. I don't know.
Who was the manager when Chelsea beat us for a Champions League final? Was it Thomas Tuchel? So to me, if I've got this list of names that you just threw out there, one of which is a Champions League winner, I know which out of that list I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's better than Graham Potter. It's not my first choice, but man, Bayern has not just I don't even know. I don't have words, honestly.
All right, so we're coming to what I guess the English call the business end of the season. Looks like you all have 4 matches left. Crystal Palace away, I'm going to assume. Arsenal at home. Newcastle at home. Brighton away to end the season. How many points do you pick up in those 4 matches?
I'm I was thinking about this. I don't know if you guys know this, but we lost to all these teams. So,
Wow.
I will say Newcastle's not. That's so funny, isn't it? Newcastle's not the same team they were at that point in the season. If there's
For
any
sure.
team, maybe we could get a draw with, but because we're at Old Trafford, it could be Newcastle. But I don't trust us against Crystal Palace. Definitely not against Arsenal, even though it's at Old Trafford. And I would say maybe a draw versus Newcastle, and that's all I got. Everything else is a loss.
So was that 2 points or one?
One.
1
Oh my
point.
gosh, I was thinking like 6. But
So what do you
I
got,
guess that
Who
Charlie?
do you guys think we could draw or beat?
I think you can
Arsenal.
beat you. No, God no. They're a machine. No, I think you can draw against Newcastle. Brighton is decimated. It is a way. Like
Yeah,
okay,
Charlie's
maybe
right.
five,
Brighton or
five is
due.
max. Five max, like
But
five
it's
max. You
at
can
Brighton.
win.
It's not at Old
Yeah,
Trafford. That's my
Please.
yeah. We just
That's
went there. They're not that good. But y'all don't need that.
American Express.
Okay, I'm
That's
trying to
like
go here.
it's like what's the Phillies stadium? Wells Fargo Arena. It's like the
You
Wells
guys-
Fargo Arena. I'm pretty sure you can hear the other fans the whole damn time too. Like it's not that serious. Charlie's right on this. Brighton or due.
I'm gonna get 5. I think y'all can get 5. Now the question is, as you said on Twitter or X, is Chelsea gonna catch y'all? Which would be high
Chelsea or
comedy.
Newcastle could catch us, and that is, I believe, if we get lower than 7th on the table, that's
No
the
Europe.
worst Premier League, like ending of a season we've had in our history. If we get lower than 7th, so it is, it is very, very. It's a mid-table race, for us to figure out how we're going to end up. But you guys say that we could get 5. I don't. I kind of disagree because I don't know if you guys watched just the last couple of games, but we almost lost to Sheffield. We
That did
almost
almost
lost to
happen. Yeah.
Country City. Sheffield was literally 20th place. Like, I'm just saying, every
Worst defense
game
in history. Yeah.
is scary.
Damn.
I can't go into a game confident, unfortunately. I wish I
We
could.
did talk about betting against y'all. Like I think like we could win money on Crystal Palace +1. I'm like I will take that, take the draw, take the win. It's a nice bet. Like I'm gonna catch.
I propose for next season we all pick a team that we're going to consistently bet on, whether it's against or for. But I say we just pick one team and just ride it out.
Nah,
Just
man,
ride it
I
out.
don't make
would do
enough
United
money.
and just bet against them and make a lot of money.
I don't
Like,
make enough money to throw it away on
Parlays,
somebody
T.
else's team.
Parlays, T. Take it easy. You don't have to
Orlando,
put
what
it
would be our
all.
future for next
I
season?
just
We're
see
just
my
betting.
hard-earned money going off into in space. Nah, man, I can't do it. I don't have. The
Baba thinks I'm going for the gusto on the first one and dropping a city kit on a 8-game parlay. Nah, chill, bro.
Old Trafford
He's not
is due
seeing
for some magic,
$5 more on that first bet. What you mean? It's real chill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gamble
Old Trafford
responsibly,
can have some
everyone.
magic. I
Gamble
think
responsibly.
Y'all can get busy against Newcastle. Like they aren't a juggernaut. Like y'all are just gonna play chaotic matches and try to score more goals. Like
My
they're
question-
basketball matches.
in the games that you have almost lost. You talked about the Coventry City, Sheffield. Those are both teams that you would expect to be dictating the play. You would expect to be the one that's driving, as opposed to if you're playing Arsenal, it's probably more acceptable for you to kind of sit back, be compact, and try to hit them on the break, which is what you typically will try to do against us. Arsenal, on the flip side, has recently they've had this thing where they're trying to just sit back and hit other teams on the break.
Right.
They did that against. They tried to do that. They did that against us. Is it a case where, as long as like in the Arsenal match, could it be a case where you don't have to go out there and try to play expansive football? You can just go out there, be compact, be solid, and then hit on the break. And even if you don't get a goal, but you keep them out, you get a point out of it. Is that possible?
I think it's possible. I think that's definitely something that we'll try to do, depending on who's playing. I know that. There's Martial was back in training today. I don't know who's going to be available for those games, but I definitely think, especially with Arsenal, we are going to have to park the bus. That's just facts. And Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. The thing is, though, with Coventry City and Sheffield, I think, because, I mean, Sheffield was at Old Trafford, Coventry City obviously was at Wembley. These teams, I think, they get this idea in their head. You can kind of see it in the first half where they're like, oh my gosh, we're playing Manchester United, right? But then when the game's going on, they're like, wait a second, this team sucks. And then they just completely, they find themselves, and then it's like we're trying to react to them adjusting to our lack of style of play, our lack of chemistry. I just don't think we play well as a team together, and it's I mean, at a detriment to how the games have gone. So I'm hoping we can figure that out over the summer, but we'll see.
Could you also do me a favor and figure out a transfer fee for Kobe Mano? I'm just asking. I'd like to just know, for the record, what the fee
That might have
is.
crossed the line, Lando. You can't do that. You can't
That's
talk
crazy.
about the golden child that way. That's rude. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
He's my
They gotta
favorite.
have
Out
some
of
hope.
them.
He's the hope. He is the hope.
He is the hope.
He's
Garnacho, like
he's our Obi-Wan.
Truly.
Yeah. You're Kobe.
Kobe one. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, put that on a shirt.
Bars.
Yes, that is a good idea.
So that's the four matches to end the Premier League season. Of course, we know at the end of that fifth game is going to be the FA Cup final. It's a big matchup against crosstown rivals going down to Wembley to play. It's the Blues versus the Reds. It's good versus evil. What are your thoughts on the FA Cup final between our two clubs?
Talk about it.
Didn't you guys score in the first 13 seconds last year?
It was really
11?
quick. Yeah, it
Maybe
was really quick.
Was it 11?
It was under 15. I
Last
lost it.
longer than that. I mean, here's the thing. I think if we could play similarly to how we did at the Etihad, I think we lost ourselves a little bit there. But if we could get someone to just get an absolute banger, right at the beginning, and then try to just park the bus and, keep you guys, calm.
That warms my heart for you to admit that.
What?
Do you know how great that felt for you to say out loud, for me to hear you say that? You are wanting to score early and then just park the bus. Oh,
It's what we have. I mean, let's think about how many teams have actually done that this year. I mean, they still lost the game.
No, they've done it successfully. Your better examples are Arsenal and Madrid. They've done it to a successful degree.
All right, stop. Lando, what did you just say? Her examples are Arsenal and Madrid.
0-0.
Two of the 5 best clubs in the world.
Good point.
But other teams have scored on you early. They just ended up losing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys just like to give people hope, I guess, and then you just kill their dreams. But
it's the best way to go about it. You build them up just to tear them down.
First shot on goal. We like to get you hype.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, you know what? Flip the switch.
Yeah.
We'll stop playing.
I'm hoping that we don't embarrass ourselves. Sure. That is my hope. But again, it just depends on who's going to be available. I don't know if people are just going to be like, hey, like Varane, is he going to be like, I'm out? In the Premier League's done. I'm not going to play anymore. Or, I don't know what our players are going to feel like. Is Casemiro going to dip?
Is Lissandro coming back or no?
Is
he making it back? Is Lissandro Martinez going to be back?
I don't think Casemiro would. Depends. It depends on if the manager stays. I couldn't tell you, but I know a lot of fans want him gone. I'm not on that boat because I just don't think he works well under Erik ten Hag. But that's just me.
You're talking about Casemiro, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what about what's the
Lissandro Martinez?
Yeah, Lissandro Martinez.
Is he healthy now or no? Is he? I'm saying will he be fit soon? Okay.
He was in training this week, but I don't.
That's what I thought I saw.
I mean, there's a couple of weeks. I'm hoping because
4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks.
Yeah, he definitely.
Anything could happen.
But I mean, Scott McTominay's out now, so it's
But Martial's back in training. I saw that. Shouts to Tony. Tony's back.
Just in time to be.
He scored last year. He scored a brace.
He did in a 6-2 loss, or it was 6-3.
6-3.
6-3.
But he got
two
brace.
goals. Yeah.
I mean,
Somebody
we
got to put
won't
those
score
goals
6
in.
again.
He did it.
You know, we could score 4. It could be 4-3. I think that's the United fun score, right? 4-3. Somebody's got to score more than the other. Because the break, your counterattack is so good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bruno dropping dimes to Garnacho or Hoyland or Rash, like that is fearful. It's all pace and power. Like it's old school footy, pure counterattacking vibes without the defense part, but pure counterattacking. And it's just like, hey, we might score more than you today, and that is fearful because we know City is vulnerable. We've seen it countless times. I still rate our defense, but I know that like we can get got. And so that's always going to be a match. And last year when I went into the final, I thought we were going to blow y'all out. I did not expect a KG 2-1 affair. So this year I won't be that confident, but like, you know.
Yeah,
we'll
I mean, thank you for being kind. But I think too, because you guys are out of the Champions League, I feel like your team might have a little bit different attitude. They might be a little bit more focused when it comes. I'm not saying that you weren't focused the last time, but they'll want that trophy, and that is what scares me a little bit. And I hate to say this, but I mean, I want Arsenal to win the Prem, but I don't think that you guys will drop points. So I think you probably will win, because if you win all your games, you win. So
yeah.
We haven't been this rested in like 4 years. Because we went
right,
to like 3 straight semifinals in Champions League. So it's like this is like they're like, wait, we get to train in May? We don't
right.
have anything to do?
It's so
Like,
weird, isn't it?
I think
it's like
last
boring.
year
I'm like,
we
what
didn't
the
drop
fuck?
points until Arsenal did, right? Like you were just like, prove yourself, and then they dropped points, and then you guys
Well,
didn't.
okay, bet.
Then it was like,
Lose
okay,
to
it's already
Brighton.
over with. It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah.
It's dead rubber.
Even as a fan, it's been some of the just weirdest, like, wait, the semifinals are today? Like, with City not being involved, it's truly been fucking Dortmund? Like, all right, I guess. But, like, this week off training, this separation of days, cansado, rested. It's going to be good.
Giving out new parking spots. I don't know if you saw that.
That's
We
what,
like
you don't have
changing
anything better to do with our
like
time.
literally,
We're
they're
just
like, hey, let's just
we don't
change
know
up,
what to
make
do.
it parking seniority. Take a long walk, Kovacic. You Croats go to the back. Nunez, you go over there and take your walk. That's all we got to do now. Like,
All I'm saying is, I hope you get more days off, and you're not playing in more games. Leave a
anything's
comment.
possible.
Rome,
Anything's
Rome,
possible.
Rome will fall. I know.
One day.
Just saying.
Once the ball man leaves, y'all can have it. But until he goes, it's top 2 or but like top 2 every year. Like it's kind of scary actually.
So speaking of Rome, which really speaking of Italy, when we were talking about potential managers, and you've said the words "park the bus," that phrase, you said it a couple of times. When we were talking about potential managers, Sal, our earlier guest, he threw out the name Antonio Conte. What do you think about him? He's had success in England. He knows the Premier League. He knows how to park a bus. What are your thoughts? Would you
I don't
take
like
him?
parking the bus. That's not who I am as a person. Like, I don't want to go into a game and be like, hey, we're just going to sit back and you try to score. Like, I want to be on the attack. I want to be the aggressor when it comes to a performance. But at the same time, I don't like sloppy seconds. Like, I don't want a coach that another team has had in terms of the Prem.
Got her. And she's back.
Yeah. Cool. I understand. All right. So last thing that was on the sheet says my Man United dream summer action items. So you're stepping into Omar Barada's role. You get to run the front office. You get to run everything from a football perspective. What are you doing day one of taking this new position?
Somebody tweeted this the other day, and it's not really related, but kind of is. They said, if you woke up as Eric Ten Hag, what would you do? And I said, I would quit. And so if I was Omar Barada, again, if I had talked with the team and the staff and I knew who I was going to pick, I would get rid of him immediately. But I would also get rid of a lot. You can't really get rid of a lot of players, but if PSG was coming with the right money, Rashi's gone. Bruno's gone. And here's the thing. It's just hard because Amrabat's on loan. I don't think he's coming back. Then we have Lindelof. Want him gone. I think Galatasaray is looking at him. We have Maguire, Evans. Evans is free though. So there's a lot of little positions and roles where I'm like, we need to fix this. I would keep Varane. I don't think he's staying though. Unfortunately, I think that's somebody that we've already lost. But I that experience, that leadership, I don't want to lose. Like, and I think Eric Ten Hag has ruined that locker room. And I just don't think, I hate the way that this sounds because I feel like it's a generational thing. I just feel like the players don't respect him. And when I was growing up, I was just told, I'm not saying this is right, but I was just told you respect them even if you don't, kind of thing, you know? And so for me to see players like Jadon
You
Sancho,
respect the position.
right? To see players like Jadon Sancho just completely disregard the manager, it's really hard for me to understand. Like I get it, but I don't, because I'm like, dude, you are a professional athlete. Suck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can understand where he's coming from because the guy's terrible at his job. And the way he probably treated Ronaldo and all these players, I just don't think there's any respect for him. And so if we can fix that, maybe the experienced players will want to stay. Maybe Sancho comes back. I don't know. But I think if I could get rid of him, get rid of those main players I talked about earlier, that'd be a good start. Because the front office has already fixed itself, hopefully. And then I wish, no, this is a wish, the Glazers could be gone. But that's just like, you know.
Yeah. But now let's flip it. You got rid of people. We got a fire sale. Who are your 4 top signings? Like, these are the 4 players, money be damned, because it's United. You want these 4 players to come in and start the revolution.
Yeah, I there's some strikers I have my eye on, like Watkins, Elise. I don't know if I want Tony. I'm kind of sitting on the fence. Definitely want an experienced midfielder that's not Bruno. But again, I don't know who's going to be available. And then with a striker, I'd want another wing player because I feel like our wing players are too selfish and they try to be the hero instead of passing the ball to Hoyland, you know, or trying to work with one another. And then, you know, if Varane or Casemiro leave, then obviously we're going to need defenders. I just don't know if he would leave, but I love Udogie from Spurs. I think he's so good. And I would love to have him on our team working with Lisandro Martinez. I don't know. I would love that. And I'm okay with Onana. I'm okay, you know? So I would say probably main, like a striker, winger, midfielder, and then a defender, you know?
The books kind of balance out. I mean, I'm looking at your wages because I wanted to enjoy and have a great laugh while you were giving me those names just to make sure I saw what you guys were paying them.
Yeah.
I mean, for the names that you're dropping off and for the names that you'd be adding on, it's a dream to get off 340K wages for Varane, 300 for Rashford, 250 for fucking Martial, 250 for Mason Mount. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
The thing is, I even forget you said Mason Mount and I forgot he was on our team. Like,
I rate Mason Mount. Mason can go. He has the engine when he's healthy. Like, he can run. And we've seen this man win a Champions League. Think about like Kai, right? Like, we know they had talent. They were there. You just got to be in the right system, and we know ETH sucks with no system. So it's like, and injuries happen. Mason I think he's actually a better all-around player than Bruno. Like, if you talk about defense and offense. Like, he's two box.
He's getting 10K more than Bruno.
As he should, damn it.
Anthony's at 200K.
That's crazy.
Get that angry beaver
we're
out of
just
here.
throwing money away at this point. And it makes
But see, this is the thing, because you are quote unquote Man United and you have the history that you are, and you're this big club with all this money, you can do that, and that is that's how you kind of throw your weight around. None of the players that you named are like so big that they should be outside of your reach. If you said Mbappe, nobody's going for him. Nobody can get Mbappe but Real, right? He's out of everybody's reach. Right. We tried to go for him, or we didn't try to go for him. We tried to go for Bellingham, but he was outside of most people's reach. I get that, but none of the people that you named are or should be outside of the reach of your club. So now it's just a matter of, do the manager or the people in the front office, do they rate those players,
Yeah.
or do they have other alternatives? Or I guess first of all, you got to get the players that you named out. Got to
Mhm.
get them out first to free it
Mhm.
up so that you can go get those other players.
Right.
But yeah, there's especially when you're not as good record wise, you kind of have to lean on your money a little bit more right now
Right.
because history doesn't do anything for anybody. So
No. Clearly, it doesn't get you. It doesn't get you in the Champions League final. You know, you gotta be good. You can't go back to nostalgia all the time. It's not going to work.
yeah.
So yeah.
Sal says that Mount is better than people give him credit for. So
Yeah.
he's agreeing with you, Charlie.
Right.
So I'm gonna, well, Charlie, Orlando, y'all have anything else for? I'm gonna switch the topic for a second. Oh no, go ahead, Orlando.
No,
I was gonna change it up completely.
go for it.
So I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, I saw that you posted that you previously played women's college basketball.
Oh yes.
So right now, obviously the big thing was Caitlin Clark, whether or not, going into the WNBA, if she can continue that and be at that level or whatever. From your perspective as a player, and you can tell me where you played if you want to, but just having played college basketball, period.
Hmm.
What did you see about her game that made her kind of this phenomenon that she's kind of taken? I'm not even gonna say I'm just gonna say the world by storm.
Hmm.
What did you see in Caitlin's game that allowed her to do that?
Oh, I love this question. I This is gonna sound so crazy, and I think, I mean, I'm gonna bring up Angel as well. What I love, because again, I'm very competitive, and what I love about Caitlin and Angel in the same respect is their confidence and their kind of like swagger. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they, unfortunately, Angel of course gets a little bit more hate for it, um, but I think it's that demeanor on the court that is so not that's not normal in women's basketball, to me, women's basketball, I'm not saying people didn't have it before, because
Sure.
obviously people have, but it's knowing that she's going to come out and have that, and she's doing the Steph Curry, like, hand in the air, like she's doing those things, and to me, I'm loving it, because I'm like, yes, like, I love that she's passionate about what she's doing out there, and there's a fight and there's a desire. I mean, and of course she's good, right, like, on top of it. And I think even maybe the fact that Caitlin's at Iowa, which isn't that big of a basketball school per se, in recent history, that could have helped her. But to me, it's just the swagger that she had, the confidence that she had, the way that she carried herself. And I mean, I think Angel was kind of the same way. I love
Mm-hmm.
the fact that
Mm-hmm.
she had that confidence too, to be like, hey, I'm that girl, and people don't really like that when it comes to women, because they're like,
I was gonna ask you, did you ever feel as an athlete that you had to kind of dial it back? You couldn't be that over the top with your confidence.
yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, especially because I'm older. I'm old, so there was no
You're not
NIL.
old. I'm old. You're not old.
But I mean, college basketball is just different in general, because there was no NIL, which I kind of think has ruined things a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely, like, you had to keep composure. I mean, you could get excited, but it was very different game. And there was no social media as well, so it wasn't as, like, big. It was very at the beginning of all of that, so it's different. It's different.
One last question, or I guess comment question. So the concern has always been, well, the WNBA needs the NBA to float it. It doesn't have the viewership, so on and so forth. And even a little bit before my time, or really paying attention, the NBA was kind of in the same boat where, the finals were on like tape delay and stuff like this, right? So it wasn't what it is now. And then the to the NBA's credit, they had a Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird that came in at the same time. They had competed at the national championship. They came into the league together, and that kind of gave a jump start to the NBA. Is Caitlin and Angel, that combination, having their battles on the big stage in college and now bringing it to the WNBA, is this the thing that kind of jumpstarts viewership and allows the WNBA to grow to the place where it deserves to be?
I think so. I think so. I think because, again, like you said, even when I think about when Sabrina joined the WNBA, right? Like there was a little bit of hype, but it
Yep.
didn't really catch on, in my opinion, as much as I thought it would. But I do think that this will help that. And, seeing a lot of, I think Angel, I forget the young lady's name from South Carolina. She's playing with Angel at the Sky now as well.
Aaliyah Boston. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Sorry.
you're
Sorry.
Cardoso.
Yeah. Cardosa. Yeah.
Yes, Cardosa. I really like her. But I think it will help. And I think people will obviously want to see them play together. But again, I think it's just bringing that different style of tenacity and competition and competitiveness to the WNBA that we haven't really seen, And these girls had the amount of tweets I saw from men saying, "I've never watched college basketball. I've never watched the women's Final Four," was crazy. So I think that's really exciting, and I hope it continues to, up the viewership for the WNBA, and I'm excited to see where it goes, honestly.
What was your game like? What was you're a shifty guard? You in the post? I mean, tell me a little bit about your game.
So it's crazy because I was a point guard in high school because I was short. So
Okay.
I was fast. So I could dribble really well and I was fast. But then in between my junior and senior year, I had a huge growth spurt and I got to 5'11". And so that helped me obviously get a scholarship. And so when I went to college, I ended up playing 3 through 5. But the
Sweet.
nice thing about it was I was a 5 who could dribble, and was really fast and knew how to, manage a court because I played point guard my whole time in high school. So I was kind of like a hybrid, but I mostly played 3 through 5. And, I'm competitive, but I love defense. So pressing, being annoying, like,
Were you slapping the floor like the Duke players?
no, it wasn't that annoying.
Those are Charlie's
But
favorite people.
yeah. But I was like, just all about, blocking shots, all of that. I was a driver, didn't really shoot that much. I'm not a shooter, but driver, first step. I'm really fast. I'm not going to lie. So
Okay.
I could take, I'm taking a big 5. Like they can't, there's.
So you said 3 through 5. Are you like what, 5'9",
I'm
5'10"?
5'11".
5'11".
5'11". Okay, I missed it. Sorry. Okay, got you. Okay, well, yeah,
So wing
that's an
to
explosive
post.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lando is our point guard, so I'm gonna give the ball to Lando. You got anything for her?
Oh, I would. You asked the basketball questions. I was going to ask if she, I didn't want to go there, but I typically love breaking down ball and especially talking with point guards. So, but we could save that for another time, Sunshine. I suppose the question I will ask, because I hear that cease and desist are being passed out. Be prepared, lawyer up. I don't know if you've said anything or had the audacity to go ahead and touch base on some of the things of 115, but I'm just going to tell you now. I'm just letting it be known that if papers are known or papers are sent out, I'd like to just know for the record if they put Sunshine FC 315 or if they put your legal government. You just let me know and get back to me, okay?
I would be honored if I got a cease and desist from my okay? I would post that as a badge of honor. Are you joking me? This man puts out a whole, don't even get me started. I could rant about this player for hours. He had a press conference, had the audacity to say something about if you doubt me even better, saying don't question my commitment to this club, this whole thing, and has done nothing since. And then had the audacity to say that we're abusing him. Now, I'm not saying people don't, because people are weird, right? And there are people who cross the line. We all know this. We see them in our own fan bases. But everything that I've seen has just been straight criticism. That's all I have to say.
One more thing, and I don't know. I'm just seeing Sal posting in the comments. He says Juventus are ready to prep a massive bid for Mason Greenwood.
Oh, if they want to pay money for that, I'm here for it.
Would you want Mason Greenwood back? Obviously, it's not your choice, but if it was your choice because you're the front office for the day, would you bring him back or would you cut ties?
No, I don't think. I don't think. I just for him too. I don't think him coming back to England is good for him personally. Like I just think it'll be very toxic for the club and for him. I think he's fine in Spain. You know, people don't really bring up issues that he's, done. I don't think it would be good for him to come back personally. So.
Well, we appreciate you. Our second favorite point guard behind Lando. You got to be second. Lando's got to be first.
Yeah,
But
I was comfortable coming off the bench at times, so I could be okay with her starting.
Well,
no, we got to ask offenses too. I need to break down that knowledge to make sure I feel comfortable with it. I don't know if she's over here running quick hitters or continuities.
We just giving her the ball, let her run. It's like United. Just go out there.
Out the way, bro.
We don't have a
See,
plan.
then we're running a horrible. No, this is a horrible program. What are we doing here?
You gotta have a plan. You can't just go off the cuff all the time. Okay, you gotta have a plan.
We really appreciate you. Give us your socials. Tell anybody that might be listening and watching, whether it be live or on a replay. Tell them how they can find you and how they can follow you.
Of course. Well, first, thank you so much for having me again. I thoroughly enjoy chatting with you guys, and you guys know you're some of my favorite people on social media. I talk to you guys all the time on there, so really, really thankful to chat with you, and I love that you guys all got to meet each other in Chicago, so I hope you guys get to do that again. But yeah, I am Sunshine FC on everything: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and I am having so much fun. I love to do Premier League content. I'm doing a little bit more European now because of, Europa, and we got all those, don't we have like Euros, and then we have Copa America? There's so much going on. So there's
a lot this summer for sure
happening. And yeah, I have more traction on TikTok, but YouTube's been fun. I've been streaming on there. And then I just joke around on Twitter. Twitter is like the place where I can just really be myself and just not care. So I have a lot of fun there. So if you want to follow along, you can go there. But yeah, make sure you guys do follow everyone here and the Shaded Blue Network now. So
expansion.
Listen it up a
yes.
little bit. Yeah.
Thank you
so
so
much, Sunshine. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for joining.
Have a good one. Boys, I hope she lawyered up. That's all I got to say.
Well, she was thinking about Rashford. You were talking about the club and
look. I think maybe she spoke to a lawyer ahead of time. Maybe she came with a little bit of I got to deflect here. Now.
There you go.
I'm just saying, folks coming low train.
She's a point guard or a previous point guard. It's a no look.
There you go.
You looking this way.
Back cut was there. She knew it was there. No look.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Before we get out here. Oh, I'm sorry. Lando, y'all about to do this, bro? Are y'all about to win, or y'all gonna blow the lead? Are we lemon booty cheeks? Are clinched? Are we nervous? Are we gonna do it again? What's popping, man?
Hold up, bro. Since we going to bat with it real quick,
the hair is up.
Let me be very clear right now, bro. The New York Knicks will win this fucking playoff series. Okay?
Let's go. Whoa! No, I didn't say the series. Don't give yourself the out. Right now, Game 6, you're up double digits in the first half, been dominating. Are you about to give away another game? Yes or no? Talk to me.
All right, yeah, you put them 10 toes down. We winning tonight. Fuck it, let's do it.
There we go. Let's go. All right, beautiful.
Let's go. Get sweeter in Philly.
Get your money in.
Hey, it's time, y'all. Minus 230. You can get it.
Get them Philly frauds out of here. I hear you, DT.
Oh, right. Yeah, we really appreciate everybody. People that have always rocking with us, those of you that are in the comment section watching, wherever you may be watching, really appreciate it. Apologies again for the technical difficulties that we experienced in the beginning. Again, sometimes when you gotta substitute out your MVP, it makes it difficult, but we figured it out. We got it all worked out. So thank you again to all of our guests that joined with us. Really appreciate both of you. Sal, Sunshine, you guys are the best. So thank you for coming back, hanging out with us. It's been great. Fellas, any last things we want to say before we get out of here?
Saul.
Charlie. all of a sudden it went like crazy blue in your room. I
here's
was
the
like,
thing.
oh, he got the lights.
Yeah.
No, when I'm in the living room, it's just the big screens right here. So whatever light you see changing, that's the game, that's
Oh,
commercials. Yeah.
I thought we
I
got
was like,
insight into Charlie's boom boom room. I was like,
oh
wait a minute.
oh wow,
no.
that's not where I was going.
Although the light in the room does change colors, but that's a whole nother topic. Only Shades content. But I will
You can't get it
say,
on Fingers Live.
check us out. Check out Shades of Blue on Saturday before the Man City versus Wolves match. Hour before kickoff for the pre-match show, and on Sunday, big match: City women versus Arsenal. City women need 4 points from the last 2 matches after Chelsea gave up the draws to Liverpool. We
Fumbled.
really fumbled the bag.
Bottlers.
Bottle City over there. Bottle FC. And
Huge
Royal
weekend.
Blue.
Jen, thank you.
yeah.
We appreciate you. Absolutely. It was fun.
We're excited for 6 more points this weekend. Maybe we get 2 more clean sheets again. I would love it.
You guys want to give them your socials, how to follow you? It says Crunk Chocolate for me over here. There we go. I'm obviously not Crunk Chocolate. I don't do it as well as he does, but it's your boy Tarek. Hit me up. Tarek Peterson on both Twitter and Threads.
At Shades of Blue NW. Shades of Blue NW. Get at us. Love, like, follow, subscribe, all social medias. We're going to be uploading more content, more fun stuff to be had. Obviously, Charlie gave you a breakdown of the weekend. Stoked to have it. Stoked to have you guys join us. Looking forward to it. Charlie, what you got?
At Sharpie Charlie on Twitter, aka X. Hit me up. Love to talk everything. It's been real, y'all.
In the words of the real Crunk Chocolate, you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.
Shady gang.
We out of
Peace.
here.